Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri vahlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli ve cealli veziran min ehli Harun ahi üştüd bihi ezri ve yeşriku fi emri. كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everyone. Welcome. Let's get this thing down and see. Now we have been studying about these doubts in our belief and actions, being suspicious whether they are appropriate to do that, accepted by Allah, this kind of questions, or my belief is really strong, something comes to my mind, and I feel that I'm corrupt. Is it really real, or nothing should come to our minds against our belief, questioning our belief? These kind of concerns are very practical matters, and we wanted to discuss this and reading the relevant text dealing with the subject. We studied in many aspects of it, and our minds must be ready by now that we are now going to start fourth aspect, or the different aspect of the same problem, but they are all slightly different from each other and dealing with different matters related to our practical life. Fourth aspect, I'm just reading very quickly because we have the background ready in our minds, how really understand this subject. So I think we can go a bit faster than the previous sessions that we had. This is a suspicions, doubts arising from searching for the best form of an action. Now, this subject is going to deal with our actions rather than our beliefs, whether these actions or more commonly is used in English, deeds. It means deeds, good deeds. So, wait, no, okay, that's correct. Now, often deed. Supposing it to be fear of God, it means that I am afraid of God, so if he doesn't accept my action, I will be ruined. This kind of concerns. The more rigorous it becomes, the more severe the condition becomes for the person. The more we worry, it becomes the more severe the conditions of the person. It even reaches the point that while searching for even better form of deed, he deviates into what is unlawful. It will give the example. Sometimes searching for a sunnah, better to do, but not obligatory. Sunnah means it is better to do in another way, but it's not really the fundamental of our responsibility before God. So searching for a sunnah form of practicing makes him give up what is obligatory, because we may lose ourselves in details. He says, I wonder if my action was sound. So as a result of this consideration, he may lose his concentration on the event and forget about real responsibility that we have to take care of before God. And he keeps repeating it. This state continues and he falls into terrible despair. Satan takes advantage of this state of his and wounds him. It means psychologically makes him really collapsed or disturbed. There are two cures for such a wound or such a problem, let's call it. The first cure, scruples, suspicions like this are worthy of the Mutazilite. Now the author is speaking in terms of religious schools of thought. Why? Because these people, this kind of people who are lost in this type of suspicion, they take seriously if the authority comes from a religious background rather than rationality, because he cannot really follow rationality. That is the problem that he is suffering from. So that is why the author goes to Mutazilite or this kind of religious schools of thought. Okay, this kind of worries are worthy of the Mutazilites but this is also important for us, although we may not have any suspicion about our actions, whether they are accepted or not. We may not suffer from it, but this explanation is useful for everyone. So what this with this type of school of thought says, actions and things for which a person is responsible are either of themselves and in regard to the hereafter good, and the action itself is good, perfectly performed. And because of this good, they were commanded. Excuse me. We may say that, look, we are not following the school of Mutazilites, but in fact, I believe most of the Muslim population are suffering from it without realizing. How? Although they may not have any suspicions, but their understanding is based on wrong conceptualization, their actions. It means they really wrongly evaluated. For example, if my action is perfect, if the action is required by religion, it means by Allah or the practice of the Prophet, it is required because it is good in and of itself. It means, for example, fasting is prescribed because fasting is good. But the opposite of this idea we will read here, no, it is good because it is ordered by Allah. Then when I fast in obedience of Allah's command, it becomes good. Not the essence of action, essence of deed is good for you. Still, I feel that majority of the people think in this way. Muslims think in this way. For example, giving zakat is good for the society. That is why Allah ordered us. So, no, we give zakat not because it is good or bad. It is not our concern. Our concern is because Allah ordered me to give zakat. That's why I'm giving it. Whether it is good or not is a secondary subject. This is an important difference. Nowadays, people write a lot of things about the benefits of fasting, benefits of zakat, benefits of going on Hajj and practicing prayers, but in physical forms, rather than establishing first who we are, what our Creator's position is. I have to establish this first of all. What does it mean? This is, unfortunately, I see most of the people do it without realizing, fast, without realizing God, but this point is important. God ordered fasting because fasting is good for me. But in material sense, makes me feel how the poor people, hungry people experience it. So I will experience it and take pity on them. This is a matter of, the subject is a matter of priority. Priority. What is the most aspect of the action that you are performing now? The most important aspect of the action is because I am a created being. I accept, I understood I am a created being. I have a creator, and this creator has given me this life in order to practice my position, experience my position, that I am a needy created being, and my Creator tells me, do this in acknowledgement of my being your Creator, your owner, your Lord, your Rabb, in acknowledgement of it. But of course we know that, or we should know that from the experience of the creation, we should know that God creates everything in full wisdom. God is the all-wise one, absolutely wise one. So if he asks me to do something, there must be some benefit in it. But my reason of doing it is not for the sake of its benefit, for the sake of acknowledging my position and obedience of it. Is it clear now? I'm asking to you and also to my friend here.
Yes, it's clear to me. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So it is clear. Is it clear for you as well, my friend here?
More or less, yes.
Yeah, okay, more or less. All right.
It seems like you don't need to, if you limit it to only, for example, fasting to only health benefits.
Or other social benefits in this world.
There's a lot of
you can do another best way of dietary, instead of fasting. Maybe under the supervision of a dietitian.
Sure. Or there's non-belief that fast too.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't mean that when I perform, because God asked me to do it, it doesn't exclude the secondary option or secondary idea that it must have some benefit for my personal and social life. Now we understood. Now, the school of thought of Mu'tazilites say because the thing, the action itself good, that's why Allah prescribed it. It means ordered it to me to do it. So if we were following this school of thought, we have to be careful about the way we perform our action in the best way. Why? Because action itself must be good in order to be accepted. But if you follow the other school of thought, they say exactly we have to do it because Allah ordered. It is a way of showing our obedience to God by performing what He asked me to do. So the essence of the way I perform the deed becomes a secondary, the way I do it. Secondary because my primary concern is obedience to Allah. So there is no need to spend hours and hours and think about whether I should do the action, the deed in this way or another way, which is the best way. Look for it, search for the hadith narrations. It becomes secondary and just not as significant as the first one. And I say, okay, whatever the experts on the subject offers me, I have to do it. And that's it. I shouldn't really bother too much about its details. Just as much as I know, as much as I receive the information from the experts, I will perform it, but my concentration will be on what I am doing. Be conscious of it, obeying the order, right? So let us read the rest fast, because this is what the author is going to explain us. And because of this good, they were commanded, according to wrong, let's say, understanding. Or they are bad. And good or bad, that good is commanded, bad is prohibited. And because they are bad, they were prohibited. Yeah. This means from the point of view of the reality and the hereafter, the good and bad in things is dependent on the things themselves. Now, how you perform that. And divine command and prohibition follows this. It means God orders because it is good. So I have to concentrate goodness, if you like, in the action. Now, according to school of thought, this school of thought, the following suspicious or doubtful person arises in every action which a person performs. I wonder if my action was performed in the good way, that in essence it is good. While the true school of Sunni school, another Sunni school, which is called, says, Almighty God orders a thing, then it becomes good. He prohibits a thing, that it becomes bad for me. I will add this one. For my obedience of God. Because God ordered, that's why I am doing it. That's why I take that this is good thing, this is a good action for me to perform. That is how the Sunni school described it. That is, goodness becomes existent through command, not the essence of the things which is good. But goodness becomes through command and badness through prohibition. Or some people say, look, I don't drink alcohol because it is prohibited. No, it is not prohibited. The first school that we studied, it says, because it is bad. And some people may say, no, it is not bad if I drink a little bit. Red wine is good for my health, a little bit. But God says, don't drink even a little bit for any reason, but he said it. So I don't even eat a chocolate which has some sort of intoxicant in it. Why? It is prohibited. Now, this much doesn't harm. It's not my concern whether it is harmful or useful. My concern is my Creator asked me not to do it. I may not know the wisdom in its prohibition. Doesn't matter. Or the wisdom in the ordering of certain actions that I have to perform. It's not my concern. But afterwards, I say that, alhamdulillah, I never tasted alcohol, intoxicant, any kind of drug in my, intoxicant drugs in my life. So it may be, this much, and then a little bit doesn't matter. A little bit doesn't matter. I may develop an habit or dependence on it, become addicted at that. Most people try this. For example, young teenagers learn from each other how to smoke, and they say, let me try. But the more they become dependent, addicted. I may understand some reason. I may not understand any reason why. But I do it because I am ordered to do it, but I may realize some wisdom in it, and okay, it is not the primary cause or reason for me to do it. I think that's an interesting point. To look to the awareness of the one who performs the action and are established according to that, and this good and bad is not in the apparent phase, which looks to this world, but the phase that looks to the hereafter. Now, in the view of the second school of thought, because I have to obey my Creator who asked me to do this and who asked me not to do this, and then my concern is obeying God so that securing my hereafter, trying to secure my hereafter. Nothing that I am expecting any benefit, in worthy benefit. So I think we understand this here. Let me delete this one. So, for example, you performed the prayers or took the ablutions, very well known among Muslims. Ablution may be a strange word for some people. Wudu, they call it wudu. Those English-speaking Muslims. And there was a cause that of itself would spoil them. But you were not completely unaware of. Something you set someplace looked clean, but it wasn't clean. You are not unaware of. Your prayers and ablutions, therefore, are both sound and acceptable because I am not aware of it. My intention is to obey God's command, and I am obeying it. But knowingly, oh, well, you know, I may not have some, I may have some dirt on it. Doesn't matter. The reason for my performing the deed or prayer is to obey God. But God also obeys, it must be clean. But if you are not aware of it, don't worry about it. Don't go and search everywhere on your clothes whether if there is any dirt on it, because the essence of your deed is not for the best form of action, but for the best purpose of intention, why we are doing it. I think it is clear. However, the Mutazilites say in reality it was bad and unsound. But it may be accepted from you because you were ignorant and didn't know, so you have an excuse. But in fact, it is not acceptable. It is not an acceptable deed. That is what they say. Therefore, according to the Sunni school, don't say about an action which is conformable with the conformable with the externals of the Sharia. I wonder if it was sound. Don't have scruples about it. Why? Say, was it accepted by Allah that my intention was pure in performing it? Don't become proud and conceited. So I don't know, it may be not rightly done, but please Allah, accept it from me. It's a modest way of performing one's religious duties. Okay, the second cure. Any question? If you have, please share me anytime you want. So, say a second cure. This is, there should be no difficulty in religion. That's the principle. There should be no difficulty in religion. It means usr. I mean, anyway, the Arabic form of it is not important. Since the four schools of law are true, it means you perform your prayer according to Hanafi, Shafi. They are all true. Don't worry about it. You know, it must be according to only Hanafi or only Shafi. No. I mean, as long as your prayer is done, you learn from a Sunni scholar or Hanafi scholar or Maliki scholar. Do it according to the information you obtained from the experts. That's it. And since realizing a fault in a fault which leads to seeking of forgiveness is preferable for the person afflicted with scruples, this suspicious about the acceptance of his actions, to seeing actions as good, which leads to pride. Now, you know what? I obeyed everything in detail while I am fasting or while I am performing everything carefully. Then he becomes proud of his action. It means God has to accept now. There is no excuse for God not to accept it. That is a kind of pride, yeah. Without realizing. It means he doesn't realize what he is doing, apparently, but he has to learn that I shouldn't be proud of my action because it was perfectly done. So he must feel relaxed. When he feels relaxed, he can do it whatever he wants and concentrate on his intention. I'm doing it because my Creator asked me to do it. That is, it is better if such a person sees his actions as faulty and seeks forgiveness. So it is better to get out of this disease of being suspicious. So, no, please accept it from me. It may be faulty, but my intention is just to obey your command and realize who I am, who you are. All these religious actions are, in fact, for realization who I am, who my creator is. Practically putting it into my life. That is the ultimate aim of obeying the order of God, in any sense. That is, it is better if such a person sees his actions as faulty and seeks for forgiveness. Now, rather than considering to be good and falling into pride, since it is thus, throw away your suspicion and say to Satan, this state is difficulty, because I cannot make sure it is difficulty, and it is difficult to be aware of the reality of the things. It is contrary to the ease in religion expressed by there should be no difficulty in religion. That is the principle established by the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. So if I take the difficult way for me, some people, without realizing what they are doing, they may say, you have to do the heaviest option in your life. That is taqwa, but the people may find themselves in difficulty, and it may cause problems in their life, problems of concentrating on the actions themselves, not the intention that they are obeying God's order. So it will be a digression, actually. Now, it is contrary to the principle religion is a relief. Relief means when you obey something, you have to feel comfortable in your existence. When you obey any command, you have to feel comfortable. Look, the purpose of my existence has been fulfilled in this way because I am acknowledging my creator. Look, the purpose is acknowledging the creator, not performing the good in the best way. So we have to follow this principle. Another principle, again, in Islam, religion is a relief, comfort, not problem. So religion and the religious duties should not become a burden for us if we don't realize that we have to take easy way while we are performing. Easy way doesn't mean that we may not do it, or performing it while we are performing it. So that is what the actions will give us: serenity, comfort, relaxation, and confidence in our existence, inshallah, through our actions or performing our deeds. Certainly, such an action is comfortable with a true school of law. I mean, but you cannot do it as you want, but you have to follow the narrations, the experts' narrations, that this is how the Prophet did it, or what God ordered. So with the intention that you are obeying God's order, so you have to follow a tie, a connection that God ordered this to do in this way. For example, can I just do my prayers as I want No, I have to do it according to how I receive from the practice of the Prophet, so that I'm doing it because Prophet performed it in this way, not according to my own whims. So we have to be careful about this point. So certainly such an action is comfortable with a true school of law. That is enough for me. And at least by admitting my ability to perform the worship in a way worthy of it, it is a means of taking refuge with divine compassion through humbly besieging forgiveness. No, I cannot guarantee, I cannot make it perfect. Oh my God, please accept it from me. You know, I am a weak person. Everybody knows. I know that I am a weak person. And to modestly supplicating that my fault actions be accepted. Please accept, or addressing God, please accept my action. And I know it may not be, most probably not perfect, but faulty. That's it, this aspect. And I think it is practically important, and also we don't have to suffer from this illness in order to have this information. And it is useful and practical, inshallah. Fifth aspect, shall I? Any question, concern, anything? Anybody raising hands? No. All right. Fifth aspect. In matters of belief, what occurs to one in the form of doubts are scrupulous belief. Now, this is important. The previous one about what? The previous one about deeds. This one is about belief. Oh, that is even more serious now. The unhappy man suffering from scrupulous sometimes confuses conceptions in his mind with imaginations. Now, the conception in my mind should not be confused with my imaginations. Imagination says no limit. It goes and goes and goes. It's a good thing, but if you believe in something that is your conclusion, the hereafter must exist. I'm convinced, but imagination comes and accompanies it. We discussed it before. That is unavoidable. That imaginations accompanies it. Said, how do we know? Oh, yeah, really? How do I know? There is an evidence, but you know, it may not work in this way, in that way. Always there is the room for doubt. But this doubt is realistic or not. That's what I have to investigate, rather than, oh, there is a doubt, so I may not, I don't feel really sure that hereafter will exist, because it comes to my mind from time to time that it may not. Of course, the doubt is good at the beginning to investigate and come to reach the conclusion and confirm it and finish. That is your belief now. That is the imagines. That is this person who's suffering from this illness imagines a doubt that, or anybody really, you don't have to suffer from it. Imagines a doubt that has occurred in his imagination to be a doubt that has entered in his mind. The really doubt. I don't know. Like agnostic people say, I don't know whether that's true or not. So I'm not interested in it. That's what they say. and supposes that his belief have been damaged. Sometimes he supposes a doubt he has imagined to have harmed his belief. No, doubt can come, but it doesn't mean that he harmed your belief. As much as you know, for example, take an example in our practical life. I am solving an equation now and trying to reach the conclusion. I followed, and concluded that X is equal to, let's say, 5. It's simple. But somebody may come and say, how can you make sure it is equal to 5? Look, I followed my capacity, my reasoning, and ended up with this 5. Now, there is no way for me the possibility of being wrong because I followed the right track or right train of thinking. So I am confident it is 5. And the person comes and says, give an option, possibility that it may not be 5. And then you start saying possible, but possibility doesn't mean that I have to lose my whole conviction that this result is 5. Yeah, possible, but as far as I know, as far as my capacity, human capacity tells me, the equation is 5. That's it. Possibility of anything is always possible. For example, you can say, now, on the other side of the earth, there was a huge earthquake and it will affect America. Is it possible? Yeah, possible. So I am going to build my house. No, it is possible that it may fall. It is possible that there may be earthquake tomorrow, so don't make it. No, it is possible that earthquake may happen, but I have to take care of it by making my building solid, sound, strong. That's it. It doesn't prevent me, it shouldn't prevent me from making my building or building my house. It shouldn't prevent me. And no one does this, by the way, but when it comes to religious belief, it is always the problem for some people. So sometimes, all right, sometimes he supposes a doubt he has imagined to have been confirmed by his reason. Oh, no. If this doubt comes as if it is confirmed by my reason, I may panic. It is wrong. Why? As far as I know, this is right. Option, we mentioned earlier on several occasions that any decision, any conclusion that we arrive is accompanied with Satan's whispering, saying that the opposite maybe, what do you think? Comes with this offer. This is called whisperings of Satan. Yeah, but that is my conclusion, and I don't care anymore. I concluded as a result of my investigations. That's it. Sometimes he supposes pondering over a matter related to unbelief to be belief. So, as if I am believing in this option because it keeps coming to my mind. So it is wrong. No, it will come, but you should pay no attention to it. That is, he supposes to be contrary to belief, exercising his ability to reflect in the form of understanding the causes of misguidance and his ability to study and reason in impartial fashion. What happens this? I see in many young people, and also they if they know me, if we are known each other, and they may ask me, and they do ask me as well, you know what these people say, all the objections, and they seem to be correct, and I don't want to lose my belief. Which kind of language is really confusion? Why? Do you believe or not? Did you get the result as a result of your conviction or not that you have to believe? But these people, rather than investigating what the truth is and going deep in it and establishing it on a firm base, and rather than doing this, they keep themselves with the opposite views or opposite claims. And they learn opposite claims better than what the truth is. So we have to first concentrate on what appears to be true, that the universe must have a creator. Yeah. Otherwise, I cannot explain this wonderful universe without a maker. Okay. Let me understand by investigating the how do things come into existence, anything of this universe, and see the evidence in it and look at it positively. Because no one can say that it is accidental. Anything, even if I say my pencil just is here accidentally, no one accepts this. No, either you put it, or there was a shake on the table, or there was a wind, or there was a squirrel came and there is a reason. So there is no accident, but occurs with a reason. So if this reason of the existence of the universe can be attributed to itself, matter, the matter itself, then if it makes sense to you, okay, believe in God. But no, I cannot do it because I don't really believe in my practical life that anything happens accidentally. No, deliberately within an order. So concentrate on your belief rather than concentrating on the possible imaginary options. Learn it, and then you may hear somebody saying that go back to your reason of conviction in your belief. Yeah, the universe cannot exist by itself because matter is unconscious. Matter has no power. Matter has no choice. Matter has no choice. So, but how can I give a chance to this option? So, if this person then taking fright or gets frightened at these suppositions which result from the whispering of Satan, he explains, alas, my heart is what? Or how do you say, alas, God forbid, or what a pity, or I don't know how do you say in English. Or alas is an old English, I think. My heart is corrupted and my belief spoiled, since those states are mostly involuntary and cannot put them to rights. Thought, his fault is will, he falls into despair. The cure for this wound is as follows. I'm continuing. If there is, let me see, there is something written. Alas, unfortunately, thank you, Feria. Yep, thank you, good option, yes. Unfortunately, Let's read. Unfortunately, my heart is corrupted and my beliefs spoiled. Just as imagining unbelief is not unbelief. No, imagining unbelief is not unbelief because I'm not confirming it. This is an option, they say, it has no base. But I have my own conviction. Neither is fancying unbelief, unbelief. Fancying unbelief, let's imagine for a temporary purpose that matter has the power to create itself. What will happen? Every matter will be a creator, and then the universe, all particles of the universe will become a God. It means the creator must be absolutely powerful. Can you imagine that the universe, every part of the universe is absolutely powerful, absolute free will they have? It is unimaginable. So this fancying unbelief is not unbelief. This imagining unbelief is not unbelief. And just as imagining misguidance is not misguidance, so too reflecting on misguidance is not misguidance. I mean, thinking about misguidance, it comes to your mind, it doesn't mean that you are denying your belief in God, for example, or in the hereafter. For both imagining and fancying and supposing and reflecting are different from confirmation with the reason and submission of the heart. They are other than them. It means they are different. Submission is different from imagination. They are free to an extent. It means imagination has no limit. It may not have any rational base at all. Not it may not. It doesn't have. Imagining doesn't have any rational base. But using the, I think, in bracket here, we have to talk about using the sense of imagination by discovering your capacity of sense. What can I imagine? You can imagine everything. Oh, I have been given the capacity which has no limit. That is a healthy way of utilizing imagination. So, for example, can I imagine the best life, most comfortable? You go and on and on and on. If everything, if this one, it has no end. It means we have the capacity to expect unimaginable creation that my capacity informs me of its existence. Not in this world, but possible. If the creator is able to do it, he will do it. Look at the universe. If the universe witnesses that the creator is or must be absolute, then he can do it. Since he gave me this sense, he will do it to satisfy it. So this is an extra information I'm sharing with you, which imagination is good to be used in this sense, not imagining that I may not be a believer. Okay, they don't listen to the faculty of will. Imagination doesn't listen to the faculty of will. Stop here. No, it is endless or open-ended, always. They are not included among the obligations of religion. It means I don't have to imagine unbelief and reject it. There is no end. And imagination doesn't accept free will and reasoning. You can imagine. But affirmation and submission are not like that. They are dependent on a balance. Balance means really you can weigh, you can put the limit and say, this is true. For example, the simple example, 2 plus 2 makes 4. Okay? Examined? Correct. But imagining another number than 4 is possible, but it doesn't mean that your conclusion 2 plus 2 makes 4 is not sure. The imagination can say anything. So, and just as imagining, fancying, supposing, and reflecting are not affirmation of submission, so they cannot be said to be doubt or hesitation. But if they are repeated unnecessarily and become established, it means go and search what the atheists are saying without establishing your belief prior to this. But if you go and listen, if your belief is established on a conviction, you can know easily that they are just supposing something, they are imagining nature within the universe. What is it? Nature. What is it? Where is it? In the universe? Where is it? Show me the nature of the things. They are created as they are. So simple. Then a sort of real doubt may be born of them. It means if you really stay on it, concentrate, and they may become a part of your understanding now, because you keep busying yourself with it. Also, continually taking the part of the opposite side, calling it unbiased reasoning, saying that, look, I have to be impartial in my reasoning. What they say may be true, and concentrate on it, or being fair reaches the point that the person involuntarily favors the opposite side. If you just keep following what the deniers are saying, and you become acquainted with them rather than with the truth that you have to have. So we have to be careful. Really, first we have to establish what this conclusion, very human conclusion, that the universe and anything must have a maker. That is very human. Must have a maker. That's so simple. Who is the maker? The universe. Can the universe be its own maker? For example, can a tree be its own maker, or it is just being created in time? In time means continues to renew its creation. Who can do that? He's taking the part of the truth which is incumbent on him is destroyed. It means first taking the part of truth and destroy. And you have to accept now then that it is true and you can confirm it. But if you keep yourself with the opposite ideas always, it may be destroyed. He too falls in danger. Yeah, that is the real danger now. A state of mind becomes fixed in his head, whereby he becomes an officious representative of the Satan and enemy, because he keeps himself busy with the opposite ideas. The most important of this sort of scruples is is this. The person suffering from it confuses something that is actually possible with something which is reasonably possible. Well, possible, as I gave the example of earthquake.
You're muted, Brother Ali.
Again, what happened? Again, I'm repeating. Maybe it was open or mic was muted or unmuted, I don't know. That is, if he sees something which is of itself possible, he imagines it to be reasonably possible, but in its essence, it is possible. To be reasonably possible and reasonably doubtful. Reasonably. He will give the example. Whereas one of the principles of theology is that something which is of itself possible is not opposed to certain knowledge and doesn't contradict the demands of reason. For example, I think the example makes it clear. For example, the Black Sea is somewhere in Turkey. So let's say the ocean. The ocean, which is famous. I think we can think of Michigan. Michigan, what's that?
Lake Michigan.
Lake. Thank you. For example, the Michigan Lake sinking into the earth at this moment is of itself possible. Yeah? Itself possible because it doesn't have to exist by itself. If it is created in this way, it exists. If it is not, it doesn't. In its essence, it is possible that it may sink. Now, possible. But we judge with certainty that the sea is in its place. Why? I have not heard that it is sunk. There is no sign that it is sunk. So I am going for a holiday by the sea, by the Lake of Michigan. So it is possible that it might have been sunk now. So I should cancel my trip to Michigan. Is it a reasonable thing or it's an imagination? Which one? No, everybody arranges their summer holiday during winter because they imagine summer when it's cold outside, and the holiday agents or companies know the weak point of some people. So they start, in January, they start advertising their companies and gives the best view of Canary Islands and say, look, would you like to be there? Because in this cold weather, stuck in the house, they cannot go. It is snowing outside. The roads are blocked. If only I was there. And then come, we can take you next summer, coming summer. And you say, yeah, let's go there because of this weak point that you wish to be in that position now. So they organize it. They don't think that maybe Canary Islands don't have to exist in their essence, they might have been destroyed by the command of God, and there may be a volcano or something and swallowed it in the ocean, Atlantic Ocean. They are in the Atlantic Ocean, am I wrong? Right. You don't know. Okay. Doesn't matter. The ocean may swallow it because it is possible if God, the Creator, decides to take them away there. But because of this imaginary, baseless, irrational possibility, we don't cancel our plan to go to that place for a vacation. No one does that. But when it comes to belief matters, we do. That is important. That Satan's whisperings. Satan doesn't whisper that you are buying the ticket to go to Canary Islands, but can you make sure that it will really exist this summer? No, if God decides to give an end to its existence, it will not. So cancel it. Satan. As if. They say, the universe may not, may exist by itself. How do you know? No, it doesn't. Nothing can exist by itself. It's obvious. It's reasonable. But imagination is open. So, and we know this without doubting that I don't doubt that if I have a plan to go to Michigan, I can go. And if I plan to have a camp by the Michigan Lake, I do it now. For example, arrange it now. Although I know in its essence, it is possible that it doesn't have to exist by any means. But if God decides that its creator decides not to create it, it doesn't. But I don't cancel my plan. So I have to act according to all the evidence I have. That's it. And that possibility, which is actually possible, causes us no doubt and doesn't damage our certainty. And for example, of itself, it is possible that the sun will not set tomorrow. Of itself, that's important. This term is important. Of itself, it is possible. It means the sun cannot guarantee that it will exist tomorrow. It depends on its creator's will. So that the sun will not set today, or that it will not rise tomorrow. Because in itself, we shouldn't forgive that. We shouldn't forget this. But this possibility in no way damages our certainty that it will rise and gives rise to no doubt. It means, can I come to your to visit you tomorrow, for example? Then you say, we don't know whether the sun will rise. It means the last day will not occur tomorrow, so I cannot guarantee. Is there any person in this way, living in this way? No. In itself is past. Of itself, it is possible. It means in its nature, it's possible. But there is no sign, so I arranged everything as if tomorrow will definitely be created. I know if God wills, but God didn't show me any sign that it is not there. So I trust God's not showing me any sign for it is not that it is not going to be created. I trust God's evidence and the signs and I arranged everything as if I am going to guarantee it that I will arrange my life tomorrow accordingly. Similarly, unfounded suspicions, irrational suspicions arising from possibilities of this sort about, for example, the setting of the life of this world and rising of the life of the hereafter, which are among the truths of belief, cause no harm to be certain of my belief. Possibility may be, but I am sure tomorrow will exist. I am sure the universe has no quality to sustain its own existence. I am sure it depends on the will of its creator because it has no quality to create itself. Sure, finish. This is reasonable, but let me see if the atom acts on its own. Maybe I may see a power in it. I don't care. Go ahead, spend your life there. I'm not with you. So, furthermore, the well-known rule, a possibility that doesn't arise from any proof or evidence is of no importance in one's established principles of belief, the sciences of principles of religion, and principles of jurisprudence, fiqh. So, possibility doesn't arise from any proof and evidence. So it is not important. That's it. I think this part is enough for me. Yep. A possibility does not arise from any proof or evidence is of no importance. That's it. Is of no importance. There must be evidence, proof. Now, if you say, oh, the time is late, so are we 14 minutes after the deadline? 12:14.
Yes, we are.
Oh, sorry. I have to stop here then. I have to stop here. I have to keep the promise in time, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة.